Friends, family, fans, we are live, baby, for episode 145, Getting Off the Mat. Not happy to say this right off the bat, but we're getting off the mat. This is the week. We hit an outright at the Zurich, which was a team event, and it kills me to say this. And I'm sure that most of you that have watched this show know that the last outright I hit was the John Deere Classic. Yes. So the mood is a little down. Not going to lie to you. That realization, I've known it every week, obviously, that's been the case. And it hasn't been without trying, and it hasn't been without any bad breaks. Russell Henley last week finished second for us. Justin Thomas made a 9. He was in the hunt. We bet Rory McIlroy 3 times of the 6 to start the year. He won 3 times. We weren't on him any of the 3 times he won. We were literally on him every other time he did not win. Had 3 guys lose in playoffs. One of them to Rory, Justin Rose, at the Masters. But we're in the green. It's not how I like to live my life. Off of one bet, basically, Cristobal Del Solar. But hey, when you are down, you got to throw some punches, you got to throw some kicks, and you got to bite some kneecaps. And that's what we did. We bit a big old 65-unit kneecap in Canada. So we're getting off the mat. Just speaking this out, I had so much anxiety coming to the show because I knew I had to address the situation. And it's just never fun to chat about. But it is betting. And you would never believe that you can just bet anybody to win 7x every week and you wouldn't hit a single person at some point. Like, surely you just got to, law of averages, one of the guys on your card has to win. No. 11 months, 3 weeks, we're going on now. So we're going to have to hit a winner this week to get off the schneid before we go to the John Deere, which we will be going for a 3-peat at, though. I've hit Sepp, and I was with Davis Thompson when he won last year. So was at the venue, and I will be there again this year. So it's going to be a fun time at the John Deere Classic, but it is the Rocket Mortgage this week. I'll be at the John Deere, though, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you see me out there, I will be wearing bright, obnoxious clothing. Yell at me if you want a beer. I will buy you one. Or maybe, like Kenny says, you can buy me one. Since I hit you with the Cristobal Del Solar. But that's okay. None of that nonsense over here. What's up, JD? Keegan, outright last week because of my tools. See? That's the thing. Congrats, my brother. This is the thing. It should have been the case. I was thinking about him. I chose the guy that finished second, ultimately. Hello there, commentating nerdo. Good to see you in the chat. As always, one of the best commenting nerds in the chat. Lenny Washington, best shows of the week. One fucking dimple, Henley. I know. Russell Henley self-imposing a dimple on himself. A simple dimple cost us between a playoff W, potentially, or probably another playoff loss. Let's not beat around the bush here. He also missed a 3-footer on Sunday. I was mowing the yard in 95-degree heat, listening. And next thing, Russell's missing 3 feet putts. 3 jacking. He's one of the best. He was the best putter of the 3 in the final group. Nope, couldn't do it. But Side says this is such an anonymous season overall. Sides, you were the one that came to my rescue for galvanizing on the Fantasy Golf Degenerates show. I used the word polarizing to describe Keegan. Keegan is absolutely polarizing, by the way. He divides fans. And that's what I was trying. I've been thinking about that. And he definitely divides the fans. There's no way the U.S. team will not have every single fan there born with U.S. nationality rooting for them. Or even people like me rooting for Keegan. Because he will suck everyone onto your side. That's what I meant by polarizing, Kenny. Eat a peanut. All right. Blind Beauty says, hello, Colin ruined a parlay for me by not making... hello. We were talking about Clanton? I know. Luke Clanton finished T34 by 1. He went bogey, I think, on the final 3 holes to finish T34. We bet him T30. But we cashed Patrick Cantley, cashed Russell Henley top 10. All of that stuff was good. We also cashed Keegan first round leader top 5. So we're looking good. Let's get to the freaking Rocket Mortgage, baby. I'm done bitching about a bad season. We're getting off the mat this week. It's going to be a good time. As always, the show is brought to you by Play Profit X. Use code FGDegenerates to get yourself 1.5% back on every single play you make for the first 30 days up to $200. And again, we will be looking for some tools, some utilization of the resources that we have here at the Model Maniac Patreon. And that's all available to you guys if you use code ROCK50. Link in the description below to get your hand on the models for all the showdown stuff, for all of the stuff you see on your screen now. We've got some badass tools over here. Here's the Rocket Mortgage, some of the best bets for Cameron Davis. Let's just go off the top rope here. Cameron Davis, top 20 at this venue, plus 300. Boom, bak, bum. Whatever that is, boom, chaka, bum, zum. We are rocking and rolling with Cameron Davis, plus 300 for a top 20. It's just a simple method play. If you take a look at the Model Maniac tools here, if we click on the Rocket Mortgage, he is the best play you could have found at this golf course over the last 6 years, finishing inside the top 20 the last 4 times. Now, does that mean he's playing good golf right now? Not at all. If we're looking for Cameron Davis, and you know what's going to be quite interesting is he's 13% owned. And this man, for my upside ranking, is 122nd. So we will be leaving him alone, hardcore, when it comes to DFS. But we had a 13th at the RBC Heritage and a 19th at the PGA Championship. It hasn't been good outside of those two. Does he go ahead and win again? Yeah, who the heck knows? But we're going to be betting him for a top 20 at plus 300 because it just makes tons of sense. I mean, look at this course history here. It's miscut, and then just back-to-back 2 wins and 2 top 20s in between there. So he's absolutely in the mix. It's what we're looking for. But the safety ranking, being his best ranking by far, is helping him a little bit, but it's still a significant. I mean, he's 87 spots off for my upside versus DraftKings. So that's an easy fade in that department for Cameron freaking Davis. All right, let's get rid of the DFS stuff here just real quick. Again, by the way, on my Back 9 Bets channel, I put out a video on how to use this model. So if you want to know how to use the model that I'm sharing with you now, I went for 30 minutes sharing exactly how I use this model, all the tools, all the aspects that you can use for yourself. So that's where we're going. Let's take a look at the upside rank here. And if you don't notice, the man at the top checking 5 boxes is Ben Griffin. Gryffindor is always going to win the House Cup. And as a result, we're going with Ben Griffin this week. Minji's bro beat Thorbjornsson in a playoff. Is that what you predicting? Marius Helmuts. What's up, Joanne? Side saying popping a hard iced tea to combat this hellscape we call the Midwest. Cheers. I'm not drinking until I get to the John Deere. Just so I can lower the tolerance a smidgen. I'm sipping on a nice Arnold Palmer Light, half and half. So it's going to be a fun little easy, breezy show for me. I'm going on to Tapping Birdie, by the way, right after this show at 8:30 Eastern. So that'll be a fun time. But let's chat about Ben Griffin. I see Matthias Helmut says, yes, that is a prediction. All right, we'll see what happens. I don't know if when Minwoo is going to do it, but Ben Griffin is. And I'm all about this man. He checks a couple boxes, 5 of the 6 we can find. Obviously checks number 1 as the model ranking. He's uno in the upside. That's good to see. Does he have a top 5 at this golf course? No, he does not. And that is the only box he did not check because we're looking for a top 5 at the Rocket just for some good upside at the course. It's never a bad thing to have. But we're going to look at Ben Griffin on strokes gained off the tee, on courses longer than 7,200 yards. He is second in the field in strokes gained. Only Colin Morikawa is a better total driver than he on these long golf courses. So that's great to see. This is the last 24 rounds, by the way. Good stuff. If we're looking for strokes gained on easy courses, Ben Griffin finds himself 10th in the model for strokes gained on easy courses. By the way, Ben Griffin is 25-1. I'm absolutely lying to you. Apologies for that. That was a typo, not a lie. So we're going with Ben Griffin 25-1. It's boosted at Bet365. We will be betting him top 10 as well at plus 220. I'll get to that portion here shortly. But we are liking the fact that he's the 10th best easy golf scorer when it comes to these conditions. We can expect the scoring average to be -1 or better this week. You know, we're not going to see too much win for the majority of the week. I think we're going to see some low-ass scores. So Ben Griffin checks that box. Obviously, the top 5 at the Rocket, not there. If we are looking for comp courses, Ben Griffin finds himself with a nice 9th best comp course track record at this venue. If we're looking for comp course history, yeah, he is. We can filter by strokes by round. Ben Griffin over here. So we are looking at TPC Craig Ranch, gained a stroke on average at this golf course. We're looking at TPC Scottsdale, hasn't necessarily played the greatest there. Plays very nicely at Vedanta Vallarta over the last couple years. Some impressive metrics there. Memorial Park Golf Course, where they play the Houston Open, I think is a comp kind of course for this venue. Shout out Minwoo Lee. I think this is a great venue for that. And then TPC Toronto, he did not play there. So he's got some good comps for me as well. Obviously, the all-time track record here at the Detroit Golf Club is not going to be on his radar. He's been playing fine, not going to be gaining a much of the strokes over there. He's just kind of gaining 0.8 because that's just the world he's been living in. Nothing too crazy, some solid finishes, but he is a different golfer right now. Let's get back to what we are looking for from Ben Griffin. From a weighted strokes gain perspective, we are looking at proximity from 100 to 150, from 150 to 175. We are looking at long iron play as well, and he is exceptional from 200 plus. He's not the greatest wedge player. In fact, he's a very bad wedge player, but that's okay. We've seen him play nicely at venues like the Wyndham Championship. We've seen him also dominate at places like Charles Schwab. So he's figured his game out entirely, and I'm all about just kind of hoping that the mid to long irons will take care of everything and maybe has a good week with the short irons this week. So that's going to be another box check. Then he's number one in the model for us. So that's basically all we love about Ben Griffin. I'm going to smidgen up this a little bit here so you can see at least what's going on above my name. And then we're going to go with Ben Griffin for a top 10. If we're taking a look at not strokes gain, just top 10 returns in this field, who has returned us the most money in this field for top 10 markets, it is once again your man, Ben Griffin. Let's just remove this over here, quickly get these guys out of here, and let's refilter on Ben Griffin over here. So Ben Griffin has returned us out of his 4 markets, win, top 5, top 10, top 20, he has returned the most in the top 10 markets. So $245 returned over there. If you are looking for a reason why, he's finishing inside the top 10 at a 34% clip. So we can go over here to the Model Maniac research tool to dive into all of this stuff. And we can click on Ben Griffin's name and see exactly what he's been doing and what kind of odds he's had over the last couple months. So the top 10 market share just for 2025 has been even better than his top 10 market over the last 12 months. Obviously, that's what you're going to get when you're playing the kind of golf that he has been playing this year. So as you can see, if we click on the top 10 here, he's cashed the top 10 in 4 of his last 5. Missed out at the Travelers. Did he have a top 20 there? Yes, he did. So he's cashing 5 of his last 5 top 20s. So you're getting an insanely high floor from a man that's giving you an insanely high win percentage as well. The Zurich Classic is not involved in this win percentage. So he's won a couple tournaments in 2025. There's too much to like about Ben Griffin not to give him a go this week at 25-1. So I'm all about that jazz. Great top 10 bet. If you're not in the mood to bet him to win this thing, bet him top 10. I think that's my favorite bet of the week. So that's where we'll be going with Ben Griffin. And when we're looking at $9,800, I'm going to filter here real quick by DraftKings pricing. And he outscores Colin Morikawa on the upside. He outscores Keegan Bradley, outscores Patrick Cantlay, all 3 above him in that department. And if you take a quick peek at some of the wind this week, Friday is going to be weird. There's going to be some electricity in the air. I'm not talking about Minwoo Lee, Keegan Bradley electricity. I'm talking about thunder and lightning, baby. Not Scotty Scheffler's putter and driver or irons, whatever he calls those things. We're talking about literal thunder and lightning available to you for free in the Detroit area on Friday afternoon. So whether or not that happens, we will see. But the wind does seem to be picking up quite significantly around lunchtime. So you're going to have about 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon where the wind's gusting more than it is in the morning early and later in the afternoon. Whether or not they're even playing then, who knows? So I like the fact that Ben Griffin is also going off later in the afternoon on Thursday, which means he'll be going off earlier in the morning on Friday. So that's a great kind of little thingy for me. He's 23% owned, Chalk City, cool, whatever. If you think I'm going to be playing a 25% owned Cameron Young, you don't know me. and you don't watch this show enough. I refuse to give in to the Cam cult. I refuse to give in to the Cameron cult. The people that think that this is going to happen need to give their head a shake. Go up to Canada, down a bunch of maple syrup. I don't know. Just figure it out. He checks 3 boxes. Congrats. Solid stuff. Obviously, one of them being a top 5 at this golf course makes a ton of sense. His safety ranking is 16th in this field. Like, you're not getting any of the safety that Ben Griffin's providing you with for, and you're not getting any of the upside either. He's 6th in the field in upside. Congrats to that. He's also a great top 10 bet. Maybe we hedge our feelings over there a little bit, but I will not be playing the most owned option being Cameron Young in this field. By the way, Tony Finau withdrew a couple hours ago. So yeah, just miss me with the Cameron Young stuff. I will take on the ownership with Ben Griffin, and just know that 25% of the field is likely going to be in the loony bin by the end of the week, because Cameron Young, watching him try win a golf tournament is basically like Tommy Fleetwood type stuff. It's possible, but improbable. Ben Griffin, we know, can get across the line. He hung tough with Scotty Scheffler at the Memorial. He played nicely at the PGA Championship, at the US Open. Struggled a little bit at the Travelers. It is what it is. Maybe he can vibe hard for us this week. Also want to check Ben Griffin. How's he been? Okay, he got a bit of a break at the RBC Canadian, so he's not playing consecutively, but it's good to see that he had a bit of a break, which is good to see. Okay, so that's my take on Cameron Young. I'm out on him, and I think I will be happily fading 25% of the field. Just a simple situation there. Checking in on some comments over here. We have got Darbo. What's up, Dobbs? Check out Sweet Spot DFS, by the way. Also goes live pretty much while the show's ending and wrapping up. Darbo's fantastic. I've been using his Sweet Spot DFS optimizer for my 150 lineup entries. All righty. 10 points too. What does that mean? Wheels up? Anyway, okay. So many obnoxious ways Fleetwood lost was unbelievable, and he is a good guy. Who is the one person that can genuinely excite you if they were to win, and others who don't see your love for him? I think Max Griesemann is someone that I think would be awesome to win. He's a great dude as well. He's very talented at golf. I think he's someone that's kind of flying under the radar, had a fantastic fall swing, and we are starting to see some decent finishes from him lately. We've seen incredible consistency. I mean, he's got one finish outside the top 40 in pretty much every single start, including making the cut at the Masters. So that's good to see in that department. We have got a 23rd at the US Open, 22nd at the Charles Schwab, 25th at the Memorial. All of these venues haven't quite been as easy as we'd like, because the reason I know this is because we're going with Max Griesemann, 35-1, won 5 places, baby. So thanks for a great transition there to get me onto Grease Trap for us, Wheels Up. Appreciate you for being here as well. So Max Griesemann, what does he do well? He plays easy courses, 17th best in the field. So that's fantastic to see. I'm all about that jazz. So we know that that box has been checked. He is, if we are looking at a venue being a putting contest, 3rd in the field in strokes gained putting this week. 6th in the field in strokes gained short game. Not necessarily looking for that much around the green play, but putting is essential this week, and he has got that. When we're taking a look at his ball striking, it's okay. The putter is an ultimate equalizer for the Grease Trap. If we're taking a look at what he's been up to with the putter in the past, I want to pull up his past track record and kind of take a look at, see some spike putting potential for the man. Just in 2025, what has he been up to with the putter? So we've seen him gain at the Genesis Invitational, on average, 1.7 strokes, 1.8 strokes. At the PGA Championship, he gained 1.4. At the Masters, he gained 1.2. At the RBC Heritage, 1.2. So those are the 4 that he's gained over a stroke per round at those events. He has the ability to pop. If we go to 2024, take a look at his upside at the Zozo, 2.6. At the 3M, 1.8. 1.6 at the BMW Championship. 1.6 at the Wyndham Championship. At the US Open, 1.3. Texas Children's, 1.3. So he's got some upside with the putter, and we've looked at all these times he's putted well. Second, T28, second. The man had 3 second-place finishes in the fall. He's been at the top of the leaderboard we're just waiting for it to happen now because it really hasn't. But, over the last little while, we've seen a slew of consistency. Now we get to an easy golf course where hopefully the putter can go nuts. We haven't seen the putter do anything in the last little while. It's mainly been ball striking. So if his putter can show back up again, we are looking Gucci for Max Griesemann. So I'm feeling a lot more confident just bursting this out onto the internet. And I think I love the fact that he's getting the 5 places each way as well. Let's get the grease trap across the line. I'm all about him this week. Max Griesemann, $9,100, 14%. Potentially will be going there, monitoring that. If it gets much worse than 14%, might have to get off of him over there. We did not already cover first-round leaders. We're going to be doing that together. I haven't even made any bets yet. Cristobal Del Solar will be in the mix. I think there's a 250 to 1 out there at the moment. They've kind of learned their lesson. Don't be hanging any 350s, 600s out there. So I agree with Darberg. Grease Trap is a good choice here. I think the easy courses, high emphasis on putting, going to be great. Wheels Up says, I also have a grease fire love. Yes, my grill has got some serious grease fire potential, by the way. If you cook a ribeye a little too long on there, it can get hot and heavy very, 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 very quickly. So we'll see what the grease cap can get done for us over here. Boiling, when it comes to having Max, I've always loved him. Yes, let's go, baby. Let's go. Boiling grease traps is exactly what we're looking for. All right. Commentating nerd says not touching Cameron Young. Tossed a T10 on him last week. That was not the week. The Cameron Young cult, not this week, next week. That's when he'll play the best. That is the cult slogan. So not this week, next week. So next week, Cameron Young will be playing better golf because next week is the John Deere Classic, But then next week, it's going to be the Open Championship that he's going to play better at. Then at the Open Championship, it's going to be the Scottish after that. So then after the Scottish, it'll be the Open Championship you'll be playing better at. Joseph Tincan says he has got a feeling about Davis Thompson. And I tell you what, I am not flitting and flatting between these comments to kind of cater transitions for us, but you guys are doing a great job for me. We are rocking and rolling with DT. 35 to 1. We are DTF this week on Davis Thompson. So give me all of him, 35 to 1, 5 places each way. I did use my 30% boost on there, but that never got it to 35 to 1. It got it to even higher. So I kind of mashed that one. So we are all in on Davis Thompson this week. I'm all about it. Let's find him in the model. Let's chat about his profile. He is starting to trend in the right direction. We're starting to see some good finishes from him. I've got him 18th in the model for upside. The safety is 39th. Makes a lot of sense. He's been hit or miss this year. He's profitable in the top 5 market, finishing inside the top 5, 6% of the time. Obviously, the odds are quite nice. We got a good course history of 12th in the field for strokes gained course history, 31st for comp course history. He's got 4 boxes checked. So you're going to be checking him for the upside in the model of 18th, top 20 check there. We're going to be checking him for easy scoring conditions. Check that box. Strokes gained off the tee on courses longer than 7,200 yards. Check that box. Great to see him performing over there. The weighted strokes gain metrics for him, quite putrid at the moment. Not going to lie about that, but he's a great wedge player. John Deere Classic, Rocket Mortgage, all that jazz. Out of the rough, it's been a big issue for him. He's really been struggling out the rough, which is kind of peculiar to see. So he better hit a lot of fairways this week, which, if you are hitting a lot of fairways, that's going to help a lot. But interesting to see those rough metrics. Those are rough, so to say. Makes a lot of birdies on easier golf courses compared to just general in 2025. He's 21st in the field for birdie average. In the last 24 rounds on easy courses, he's 6th in the field in scoring. That makes a lot of sense. He checks that box for easy scoring strokes gained already. If you can survive round 1 and round 4, we've got a good middle ground over there. We've got a second place finish here last year, right before he went and won the John Deere Classic. So he was moving and grooving in the right direction. And we've seen a 27th, a 23rd, and a 25th from Davis Thompson over the last little while. What has he been up to from a strokes gained recently over here? So Travelers Championship, the ball striking, he gained 6 strokes ball striking last week. Love that. Putter, let him threw it all away with the putter. That's okay. Putter hasn't necessarily shown up. What does he do on bent grass surfaces? Let's take a look-see. He's mediocre in that department. We're getting 35 to 1. It is what it is. Not going to be overly ambitious about his potential. On the greens, we know that the ball striking is there. We're just going to need 1 or 2 putts to fall early so he can really get those vibes rocking and rolling. But the last 2 times he's played, he's gained over 4 strokes per round on the ball striking front, with the putter kind of letting him down in the last 5. So we know it can pop, because if we go to, what did he do here at the Rockets? We haven't had it yet, so maybe we just should get those out there. He has putted quite nicely the last 2 years at the Rocket Mortgage, and the ball striking has been scintillating every single year. So that makes a lot of sense for DT. So I'm all in on him. Let's take a look at what his ownership is going to be. 18% at $8,100. Man, that's tough. I think we're going to have to potentially leave him alone in the DFS streets, because his safety is pretty poor. We are speculating a good finish here, given his history. But, if you're taking a look at the recent form, we're not getting anything better than a 20th. 23rd at the Wells Fargo. That's the best finish he's had. So can't say I'm happy to roster him with 20% of the field. Although we are fading Cameron Young, which helps us. We're basically only going up against 75% of the field now. So that's basically that department. But I can't say I'm super thrilled about Davis Thompson's safety. I am massively involved in his upside, though. I think he's going to produce some magnificent results here shortly. Hopefully this week. If not, great opportunity to defend as the John Deere Classic King. Taking a peek back at the comments here. I do not like my steaks well done. All right, let's just be honest. I am a medium rare, medium well kind of guy. Maybe a medium, depending what you're going to be getting. A ribeye, medium rare, medium well isn't terrible because it's such a nice steak. New York strip, got to go medium. A little tougher. The tougher the steak, the less you cook it. Just kind of like that. You want to get that fat cooked out of the ribeye. I'm not a big fat eater, although I am 245 pounds. It's not 250 anymore. We are moving in the right direction this summer. So I hope you guys are also attaining your weight goals as we speak about steaks on the show. We need a deep dive on Matt McCarty. Is that too soon? I don't think so. Because if we go over here and we filter by upside ranking and we get this all the way over here, if I scroll, you don't even have to scroll. But I will, because I want to zoom in a bit. The 7th ranked guy in the model is Matt McCarty. And by the way, we are going with Matt McCarty for 150 to 1, 6 places each way. If we take a look at the 3-time Korn Ferry Tour winner, 1-time PGA Tour winner, he's 150 to 1 with 6 places. We can take a quick peek at his recent form. It's been rather putrid at times and very good at others. We have TPC Toronto as one of the course fits, driver-heavy venue, a little more long irons than you're going to find at the Rocket Mortgage, but still a very easy golf course to score on in most of the conditions. It got a little breezy at times, but he finished 4th there, so he's got some pop going on. How did he finish 4th? That's going to be a question we can take a quick peek at here. I think he is going to be a very dark horse, and I'm all in on him in DFS. He checks a lot of boxes. So we are looking for McCarty, not McCarthy. We are looking for McCarty, Matt McCarty. And at the RBC Canadian, it was just across the board. Good golf. Putted lights out, but gained in every department. And he's a very good putter. So that's what he did on the KFT. That's where he dominated. And I think he checks a couple boxes where he drives the ball quite nicely. Yeah, 45th in the model for that. Very accurate. I'm not going to be thrilled about that here. But he finishes top 15. The easier the conditions, medium and easy, he's top 15 in all of those. Outside, basically the top 50 when it gets hard and hellish. So I'm all about Matt McCarty in the easy conditions. And he's obviously checks the other box of being 7th in the model. Take a look at his approach play metrics. They're kind of all over the place. He hits a lot of good shots, which I've kind of ramped up a lot this week. I want guys hitting good shots into these greens, gaining over half a stroke on a single approach shot. because you need to give yourself a lot of good birdie looks. I think he's going to be able to do that from 150 to 200 for sure. And his rough proximity stuff, it's whatever. I think he just checks a lot of boxes, makes a good profile, finishes inside the top 5 in like 20% of his starts. That includes a couple Corn Ferry Tour events where he absolutely went bananas, but we know what he can do. He's a bona fide winner. He has already won on the PGA Tour at an easy scoring venue like the Black Desert Championship, by the way. So Matt McCarty is in. We're all about McCarty. I think he's a great option over here. If Davis Thompson wasn't 35 to 1, we could go crazy on his top 30 market. We could. Is that where you want to go with DT? Is he a top 30? Yeah, seems like but you would want a little more than that. Only 45% top 40 rate. So, I don't know. I like his upside more than I do his safety, to be honest with you. CN. So I've been jumping around a couple of the placements in the matchups here. So we've done Ben Griffin. We're doing Davis Thompson. We're doing Max Griesemann. We're doing Matt McCarty. And, we've actually kind of gone right down the board of my things over here. Next up is Aldrich. Not a lot to chat about. Finished sixth at the Charles Schwab, which was 4 weeks ago. Finally showing back up again. His profile's not going to grade out well at all. But he's going to be pretty soon. We're going to have to search his name. We can just scroll a smidgen down there. He's been profitable in pretty much every single market apart from the win market, which we know could have been a W. One of the wins we should have had this year in Mexico. That's just the kind of year that we've had. It is what it is. Upside rank, he's 55th in the model, 60th for DraftKings ranking, so we got a 5-spot benefit over there. Doesn't check a single box for us. Plays better in difficult conditions, largely because of how good he is of a driver. But I think at a golf course like this, his distance is going to be unleashed. No penalty for hitting it skew, for the most part, compared to other venues. It's Parkland's golf course. You can milk driver pretty much anywhere. He hits it further than anyone on the PGA Tour. Nobody hits it further than Aldrich. And even Rory, he hits it further. He averages 190 miles per hour ball speed. That's like he's coasting. I swing my ass off and I get to like 179, 180. And that's if I hit it fantastic, out the screws, swinging my tits off. He's 10 miles per hour faster than that. And I'm a big boy too, like the Aldi. So he's live. Solid wedge player for someone that hits it as far as he does. That's good to see. Going to be in the wedge range for him. Very much so. This 150 to 200 range not going to be that big of a deal for him. Not the greatest long iron player, surprisingly. But we'll see what he can get up to on the par 5s. Pretty poor in that department. So there's a lot of red flags, but he's 110 to 1 on a course fit that we're kind of really hoping for. Surprisingly, he hasn't played that much golf, but the 6th at the Charles Schwab is really going to do some good for him over there. I should have seen him in Canada as well. That would have been a great fit for him as well. But it is what it is. I don't know if the exemption stuff was being a problem or not. We like Aldrich Pajeda this week for 110 to 1, 6 places each ways. We'll see what he can do for us there. And then we're going to go with John Park. We're going to unpack him and chat about Johnny. He's going to do some work for us. Shout out Kenny on the Fantasy Golf Degenerates show who got me on the Pac-Man. We are a believer at 500 to 1. If anyone, to quote Kevin Malone from The Office, if anyone offers you a 500 to 1 ticket, you take it. Kenny offered me the ticket. We got to follow on. Finds himself fairly priced and fairly ranked in the models. Safety rank giving him a bit more leverage over there of about 16 spots. We're taking a look at John Park. One top 5, I would imagine, in the last 12 months. Routinely finding himself inside the top 41 in every 3 starts. But if we are looking at approach play, John Park is the guy. If this course plays to medium difficulty, he's 9th in the field in that department. Very, very solid when it comes to driving longer golf courses. So he's got some accuracy and just tends to find the fairway repeatedly. Doesn't have a lot of distance, which is kind of interesting that this would be a venue for that. But he's a good iron player, good with the wedges, good with the mid irons, and seemingly very good with the long irons too. Just across the board, gaining strokes is inside the top 45, 46 for all 3 of those categories. The strokes gain out the rough doesn't really matter. He's super accurate. So that's not that big of a deal to me in that department. Struggles mightily on bent grass putting, and I believe he's a bad putter in general. So we're going to get some putt luck, hopefully, with some good iron play. But when we're looking at John Park, Not a terrible first round bet either, 47th in the field, but definitely shines in round 2. His best finish this year has been the 27th at the RBC and the 28th at the Charles Schwab. So the CSC and the RBC are 2 venues that he's had some success at with top 30s. If we take a look at his round by round stuff, I believe Kenny mentioned that he has significant upside when it comes to approach play. And I think he might be right, because if we're taking a look at the approach numbers, this is per round, people. Per round. In the last couple, RBC Canadian gained 2 strokes in the final round, lost a couple fractions in the third, 2 strokes again in round 2, 4.5 strokes in round 1 of the RBC Canadian. Then we scroll to the Charles Schwab, opened up with 3.2 strokes gain on approach, then 2.5 on Friday. So we found some gems. Texas Children's Open gained over 4 strokes. I think this dude's an absolute showdown option because he's volatile and just gets nuclear with the irons. So whether or not we will see a putting performance where he gains a couple strokes the day he has a good iron play is yet to be determined. Let's take a look at his spike rounds of 6+ in the last 2 years. Charles Schwab and the Compliance Solutions Championship and the Club Car Championship at the Landings Golf and Athletic Club. So 2 of them came on the Corn Ferry Tour, and they came in various rounds, and he's obviously was the leader after the round at the Charles Schwab this year with an incredible ball striking performance over there with a little bit of short game putting. So he did have that. So I would definitely advocate for a John Park. Let's go find a quick leader after round for John Park. So going to be our first live ad for the show in the first round leader market. He's 250 to 1. So Park, 250 Park, FRL, 6 places at Bet Rivers. Where are you, Park man? There we are. Okay, so he's in. We are lacing up the boots for John Park. First round leader, 6 places. We're seeing what the thing's telling us here. I can zoom in a smidgen for you guys. We are looking at a good profile for the upside here. If we're looking for the 5+ stuff, all of that came on the Corn Ferry Tour, 4+, also Corn Ferry Tour, and the 3+, we're getting a bit better results over there. So that's not even giving us anything. Couple on the PGA Tour. So that's good to see. We're going to go with Park over there, 500 to 1 to win the tournament, 250 to be the first round leader, and he will be a showdown staple. I think it's just going to be an auto play for him. At $6,300, he's going to be a free square and can break the slate for you in that world. So I like that a lot. Commentating nerd back on DT. Yeah, just saying that because the top 23 to 25, yep, that's his thing. He's just been hanging. That's a great point. It's a great point. I need to get the top 30 percentages in my thing. We will see over there. Pot hitter, perfect for 420. What? What's up, Thorbo, my man? Good to see you in the chat here. I'm glad I was rocking some Tupac puns there for you. I know you're a big fan of the Rapid Daps. Waka waka waka. What the heck is going on here? A Jaeger dive. Okay, we'll get to him shortly. Johnny six pack. Yes. What's up, Jimbo? Of course you bring it up when we're talking about some first round leaders. I'm loving it. By the way, loved having you on the show. Show Jim some love in the comments. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that jazz as well, people. Wheels Up asking here, Gordon Sargent seems like he will have a breakout very soon. Could this be the week again, like the potential talent Sargent dive? Okay, so we need to do a Jaeger dive and a Sargent dive as well. We don't have too many more bets left for the show. The last one's going to be a Patrick Cantley top 20. We'll pull up Patrick Cantley over here for a smidgen. I hate how on Google Docs you zoom in and everything zooms in. It's not just the sheet, which is kind of irritating, but not that bad. You know, you guys don't have to zoom in as much as I do on the show. So yes, Patrick Cantley, second for safety, third for upside. His top 20 market is the most profitable of his betting markets. Not a great top 10 bet. Obviously, a pathetic top, like a win bet. You don't want to be betting Patrick Cantley. So that's the situation there. Look at this top 10 rate, 18%. It's the exact same as his top 5 rate. Not good. Good top 5 rate, shitty top 10 rate, fantastic top 20 rate given his lack of top 10s. Where does it actually put him on the in the field. This might be one of the best top 20 rates we have. Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantley are right up there. Colin with the lack of top fives, but also Colin's problem, the reason we're not betting him, find me a top 10 or a top 20 that was a lock in the last 10 starts. Masters, he backdoored that bad boy a bit. 17th at the Wells Fargo. 20th on the number at the Memorial. 23rd at the US Open. 42nd at the Travelers. The Travelers is a perfect venue for him. Couldn't get it done. But we're talking about Patrick Cantley, who has 1, 2, 3, 4 top 20s in his last 6 starts. I'm cool with that. The 2 miscuts were at the Masters. The majors. This ain't no major. This is the freaking Rocket Classic, people. It's the opposite of a major. We're in the Midwest, and it's a major crop area, not a major venue area. So give me Patrick Cantley. In every other non-major, he's basically finished top 20 in the last 10 PGA events. Literally has. The Masters were 36th. He's pathetic in majors, isn't he? As well. Holy cow. Moving along. So Patrick Cantley, top 20. If we go to the tool here, you'll see it's like just delightful to look at. Patrick Cantley, good stuff this year. It checks out a lot of boxes. If we kind of zoom in here, it's the only market he's been profitable in 2025. And look at all these top 20s, lots and lots to like about this. And if we go to the Rockets, he's got a top 2. I think he finished second year in 2022. So, check the top 5 box, check the top 10 box, did not check the win box. So that's the problem there. But Patrick Cantley historically has been a very bad top 20 bet, but not so much this year. Like, what did he do in 2019 got on a run. It must be some sort of, it's just the odds are too, like minus 300, minus 150. You're losing a lot of money there in those markets. So, yeah, fun stuff. You can always see the odds in this tool. It's quite nice to see. That's Twitter. I'm not looking for that. Let's just actually go to Play Profit X. So I have a couple bets out here already, and one of them is Hideki Matsuyama. These are unmatched, by the way. I'm still waiting for someone to match them. I am going with an aggressive odds range. We're going with Hideki Matsuyama to not finish inside the top 10. We're taking a look at what Hideki's been up to. I will get some deep dives here shortly. We can filter by pricing because it'll be less scrolling than we have to do for a Hideki Matsuyama, who is ranked 25th for safety in my model. His top 10 market has been a disaster to bet in. His top 20 market, even worse. Not good stuff there. Top 10 rate, 7% in the last 12 months. Not good, Bob. Let's try to find a top 10 in the last couple starts. Since the Masters, there has not been one. In fact, there has not been more than one top 20 at the Wells Fargo at the truest. It's just been mediocre golf for Hideki Matsuyama. So that 13% can belong to the 13% of people that are actually in the mood for Hideki. I can't say I am. Even with him, again, no top 10s at the Rockets. Couple good starts early, 19 and 2020. That's a long time ago. That was before we even knew what COVID was. That's when Hideki was playing good golf at the Rocket. Missed 2 cuts in a row, the last 2 times he's played. So a quick Hideki fade in that department. We are betting against him in that world. And then, as always, we are going to Ben Griffin, trying to get a plus 250 out there on the G-Man to see what he can do. But I am seeing Ben Griffin top 10s at plus 225 without ties paid in full. So I might just have to drop that to 225 with ties paid in full. Ties included. You can see it right over there. So we're taking a look at some scoring. I think early in the week, 69.5, 3 under par, very, very fair score. The average scoring at last year was minus 1.5. We've seen it in the 2s as well. In fact, I can actually put it up here. A couple key stats. What were the scoring averages over here? Clickety click click. Yeah, scoring averages. Basically 1.5 strokes under par pretty much every time they've played. Yeah. Now zoom in. There we go. Yeah, is the OG model where all this stuff comes from. We've got a lot of under par scoring. So it's very, very easy. Par 72. If it's the scoring average of -2, that's 70. So I think there's a fair number to have it at 69.5. For these guys, these are obviously the better golfers too. Colin Morikawa 68.5. Keegan Bradley 68.5. Ooh, we'll see. Ricky Fowler, 69.5. We'll see. Are there any guys we can fade in that market? Let's take a look at first round leaders. Oh, geez, B. Come on, you can do this. There we go. So Colin Morikawa may not be a terrible first round bet there. Has played well here in the past as well. I like what he can do in the first rounds. Keegan as well. Great first round leader. Do we want to do that? So let's go to Keegan. We want to say over, so we want to say no. Let's see if people will bite on a Colin Morikawa. So this is how you get your situation, location, service. This happens when I'm streaming. Unfortunately, doesn't work. So I will be betting Colin Morikawa $50 over there with my money that's in the account. And then we'll be doing Keegan Bradley as well. So I'm zoomed in too much. Keegan Bradley, under 68.5. We can do that too. I'm in. Is there anyone at the top here that we want to fade? What is should we do afternoon? Let's see what the afternoon market looks like. That's usually when scores are worse, right? Max Homer is always a solid option to fade. I mean, what's he been up to in round one? We can use the tool. Max Homer this year or the last. Homer Maximus. There he is. Okay, so 2024, 2025, you don't often see a profile like this. He's losing the least amount of strokes in round one. So that's his best round, and he's losing 0.2. In the final round, he's losing a third of a stroke. Yikesers. Like, you never want to see negative strokes gained. I know it's not the best numbers at the bottom here, but it's every round he's losing strokes in. What's he done lately in round one? Not great outside of the Memorial, so kind of field average-ish. I think we can go Max Homer over 69.5. A yes. I think that's a fair bet to go with, for sure. Along with Hideki Matsuyama, maybe, even. So that's what we're doing over there. We're going to go with that at Play Profit X. Use code FG Degenerates to get yourself 1.5% back over there. All right, so some deep dives. We want to do some Jaegers. We want to do a couple other things. What we all said, Gordon Sargent and a Jaeger dive. And we're thinking about Gordon Sargent. Okay, so those are the dudes we're looking for. Love a long hitters course. Let's ride Barson. Oh, my brother. What's up? Good to see you. You got so many different names out there. That's a Pac-Mac sound effect. Thoughts on Hatsutsune and Grilla? Love that. Really love the discourse between you and Kenny on the FGD show. Really looking forward to TIB with you and your arch rival. We're going to be squashing beefs. I created a new beef on FGD. I can't have two beefs going at the same time. Don't have enough. Got a lot of cows and a lot more pork, though, here in central Iowa. You know, not enough beef to have it with two people on the internet. So it's now just me and Kenny. We'll see. See what happens in that department. So that's what's going on over here. Cristobal Del Solar, we liking for a first round leader, by the way, 250 to 1. Ryan Gerard, we absolutely got to try and fit in here. What does he do on easy courses? Let's filter on easy. Before we do a quick deep dive, we got to clap a bunch of first round leader markets. So we're going to filter by condition over here. Go less than. Let's do what? Top 40 on easy scoring conditions, just to give ourselves a couple. Let's do top 50. Never know. There might be a name that makes a bit of sense here. What have we done? Less than 50. What other filter do we have on here? Where did everybody go? All right. Interesting. What on earth has happened here? Okay. Select all. There. Okay. Maybe that was the problem. Filter by condition none. Less than 50. 50. Jesus. This is, I don't work in Google Sheets. I work in Excel. That's my problem, but can't share Excel doc very well. I say that too often. All right. So we are looking at the best guys in round 1, and they are inside the top 50 when it comes to easy scoring conditions. So let's take a look here. Easy scoring, and we can probably get a couple. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So Rasmus is still living a lot in the DP World Tour stuff. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of him over there. Keith Mitchell is an obvious play for first round leader at 55-1. What are they doing still putting him out at 55-1? So Keith Mitchell, 55-1, in on that. Let's get me in here just for a little bit. We're in on Keith Mitchell. Harry Hall, 25th in easy and 9th in strokes gained, 45-1, in. I don't think he's going to win. I like him for first round leader. Has not had a top 5 in the last 12 months. Interesting stuff over there. Ryan Gerard, always going to be a play at 55-1. So Ryan Gerard, let's do this. Ryan Gerard, Keith Mitchell, Harry Hall, all good easy scoring. And in round 1, we're going to make a box around these dudes over there and see if we can do another one just to make sure that we can. Nope, it won't do that. Won't do that. Okay, whatever. We can change the color of the stuff here to purple. There we go. Akshay Bhatia is going to be coming off at, where's his first round leader market? 55-1. Hello. I'm just going to pepper this 55-1 range. Aldrich Pochita, not necessarily the greatest first round guy. Yeah, not getting that there. These are the top 40 dudes on easy scoring, I believe. What on earth is going on here? Oh, there's the easy. It's not even filtering on these. Like, who the heck are these dudes? I think I know what's the problem. Holy cow. I'm just fixing stuff on the. Let's get this out of here. Okay. Now, there we go. Okay, we probably didn't have it filtered all the way down. Another massive problem with Google Sheets. Let's try this again. Apologies. So there's the round 1, guys. Still checks out a lot. We're gonna do this, people. We're getting through this. I promise. Filter by condition. None. We want less than somewhere. Top 40. Now we're cooking. There we go. Okay. So same people still. Matt McCarty, we probably got to go with him again. Great in first rounds. Love the easy scoring conditions. Where is McCarty? 100-1. In. Let's go. John Park. What is his first round leader? We said 250-1 already. Harry Hall, we're in on. Ricky Castillo. Sticky Ricky, the best Ricky in the field. 100-1. Let's go. Okay. So that seems like a decent chunk of people. Is there anyone else we want to add to the situation? Akshay Bhatia is in. I don't know if about Alex Noren yet. Still need to see a little more from him. Matt McCarty we got in here. Good to see that. Thorbjorn Olesen, Jesper Svensson, Ben Griffin, Michael Thorbjornsson, Rosner, Quade Cummings, Kevin Yu. Quade Cummings. Let's take a look at Quade Cummings. I'm sure he's going to have some really... Jim Cummings' guy, 100-1. Okay, that's our final dude we're going to be rocking and rolling with over there. By the way, Kevin Roy, often mention him in the Model Maniac Patreon as a round 3 showdown gem and has been fantastic for us in that department. Kevin Roy, free square over there for you guys. All right, so that's basically our first round leader markets. Ryan Gerard, Akshay Bhatia, Harry Hall, Keith Mitchell, Ricky Castillo, Matt McCarty, and Quade Cummings, just as a random guy at the bottom over here. Beautiful. Live on the show. That's what you're going to be getting from your friendly neighborhood Model Maniac. Let's do a couple deep dives as we go around here. Yes, beautiful. The reason I like the 55s here on Bet Rivers is you get the placements. Shop around, people. I'm literally just looking at one screen. I haven't bet them yet. We'll be looking for better markets on all the different books that I do have. Harry Hall, 55-1 on FanDuel. Beautiful. Any Higo love at 200-1. Love the show as always. What's up, John? Thank you so much. Higo, let's just do backwards here. Let's take a look at Higo. I don't know how he go. Let's find out how he does. Let's do this. Alrighty. Garrick. You know what? I'm not even going to look at the model. I'm just going to pull him up over here. This is a lot easier to kind of do a quick. We're deep diving people now. Apologies for going backwards. Not what you're looking for from being in the chat first, but played nicely at the PGA Championship until he lost 8 strokes in the final round. Jesus. Lost 7 in the third round of the Truist. So he's got massive blow-up potential. Obviously, he won Corrales Punta Cana. Shout out Joel. We imploded himself there. He's been playing some solid golf. All with the putter at the PGA Championship. So I think he's more of a showdown option than anything else. You're going to be, having to handle the ball striking is coming and it comes and goes. It's not necessarily the greatest. Off on approach, it's been pretty bad for. Let's look at 2025. Same situation. So I'm more of a showdown guy early on. I'd probably lean into Garrick for some showdown. Not in the mood for him season like week long. Who else do we want? Gordon Sargent. I think we're going kind of backwards up the thing here, but hey, that is what it is. So Sargent, major. Why? Let's just do 2025. Oh, he's only played. Or were we talking about someone else? Oh, it was Sweet Spot. It was Wheels Up that wants it. Gordon. No, I'm out. Gordon Sargent isn't even playing on his college team as a starter for the 5 guys that are playing. Not good. When 5 college guys are better than you on your team, he is going to get his tour card for next year. Not looking great. Not looking good. So yeah, the Gordon Sargent, there's nothing to deep dive. The pool is empty. If you're diving into the pool with Gordon Sargent, you're going to break your neck. Steven Yeager, next up on the slate here for the deep dives. By the way, rip the deep dive suggestions if you guys want any of them. We will do a giveaway here at the top of the show at 60 minutes, which is only 3 minutes away. So we will do that then, so I can have a quick sip. Here's Steven Yeager's profile for the last round-by-round situation. It gets progressively worse as the week unfolds this in his career. Seems like it's the same this year. So it's good to see that overlaps. Medium and easy scoring are his jam. So let's do easy scoring, see what happens if we filter on that. Played nicely at the Truist. Solid at the CJ Cup. He's been gaining a couple strokes in that department. Seems to lose a lot of strokes on approach during that time. Off the tee as well, but chips and putts his brains to pieces in those situations. The only time he's ever had a +4 round of gaining strokes has been one time. The rest of it on easy scoring conditions, not the greatest. More medium, that should light up a bit better. So if the conditions start blowing a bit on an easy course, I kind of like Steven Yeager. He has been playing rather poorly for the last little while. What's he been up to? Travelers, T34. We're looking at a Truist Championship. He gained pretty much across the board for a T7 there. What's he done at Detroit? Solid and inconsistent. So, he's got some upside from a course history perspective, pretty much across the board as well, gaining in those departments. He's a bit of a risk or reward type guy. What is his ownership right now? We can filter by salary now. Steven Yeager is going to be 15% owned. That's course history. That is the course history and comp course stuff doing a lot of the work. The form also in this field is 21st in the field. He's playing okay. He's not giving me what I'm looking for. Yeah, the 4% top 5 rates. You're going to give me a 15% guy. Let's filter on top 5 rates here and see. Okay, we want the people trying to predict a solid top 5 situation. Matt McCarty's fine. I'm cool with 6%. Jacob Bridgman, cool with a 3% ownership. Clanton, Ben Griffin, Patrick Cantley. Patrick and Ben make a lot of sense. Keegan Bradley makes a lot of sense. If we're looking, let's just filter by ownership, actually. That's mainly what I wanted to do. Cameron Young, only a 10% top 5 rate, given the fact that he's the highest owned option. Patrick Cantley's almost doubling that. So not terrible for him either. Davis Thompson, like I'm saying, the top 5 rate, not the greatest for him. Harry Hall, Matt Fitzpatrick, 15% a pop. I'm out, people. Very simple situation there. If you have not finished inside the top 5 in the last 12 months and you are 15% owned, I don't care what you're predicting or projecting. Got to show me something first. It's been 12 months. And Harry Hall is not a terrible top 20 bet, by the way. We may actually just add that later. Look at this top 20 rate. What's Harry Hall's situation? Harry Hall for a top 20 is plus 185. Boom. All right. We're going to add a last minute Harry Hall ticket here. Harry Hall, top 20, plus 185. I'm assuming that's without ties paid in full, but we like Harry Hall in this market. If we go over to the placement tool, we can take a look over here, type in Harry Hall. And this year, it's been great. Top 20 market has been really, really impressive for him. We're coming off of 3 of the last 4 have been top 20s for Harry Hall. So we're in. Should have bet that before the show. We are still betting it now. I'm all about Harry Hall going forward for a top 20. Look at this top 5 market. It has been since the... I did not have one in 2024 either, outside of the win in an Oldfield event. So we've got to go to 2023 to find a win or loss. We had a Charles Schwab top 5. That was it in 2023. So one top 5 in the last 2.5 years. And we've got people betting the crap out of this guy this week. Maybe he does it, maybe he doesn't, but he's trending. Just the top 5 market isn't very friendly to Harry Hall. Top 20 market, though, very different. Look at as we filter away here. Here's the top 20 market just jumping up and up. So good to see. Top 10 market, also very nice. So he's finishing inside the top 10. Solid stuff. Don't know about the win stuff yet. Got to have a taste of the leaderboard to kind of get home for me. Again, haven't hit a winner since the John Deere Classic, so I don't know really. Harry Hall, Steven Yeager, we've deep dived all those guys. Let's do a giveaway. Who in this field has lost you the most money betting in every single market? The win, the top 5, the top 10, and the top 20. If you are a member of the Model Maniac Patreon, you do not get into the contest. You do not win a free month because you've got the tools at your disposal already. You've got the sheet. You can use that. But if you are not a member of the Model Maniac Patreon, hit me up. Tell me who has lost the most money overall for the last 12 months betting to win $100 every single time. You know the deal with that betting thing. Who has lost us the most money in this field over the last 12 months across every single market? So basically total. That's what we're looking for. And it's a fun name. It's a name that's going to give you a lot of interesting stuff. It is not Colin Morikawa, although he is 4th in that. We have got, betting wise. So I will share my screen here real quick. This is what it looks like. I've scrolled up. There's about 10 or so people above this. I'm filtered on the total. So these are all people that have pretty much lost you pretty much in every single situation in that department. So Wheels Up saying Si Woo. Almost want to say Eric Cole. Does Eric Cole show up anytime soon? No, he doesn't. JD, you are in the Discord, I do believe. So we're going to go with I'm a loser till I win the milli as the guy that says Hideki Matsuyama. If you've bet to win despite returning $107 in the win market over the last 12 months, betting to win 100, he's won twice. He has lost you, Hideki Matsuyama, $2,254 in the betting markets across the board, particularly the top 20 market. $1,320 lost to Hideki Matsuyama top 20s. Not good, Bob. If we pull up Hideki over here, holy buckets. Look at this. So to start the year, we had oh no, that's filtered by. Look at this nonsense. We had the Truest, he had a top 20. The Genesis Invitational top 20. Congrats, at 70 people. The Sony and the Sentry. 4 top 20s this year. We are on a run of 5 consecutive non-top 20s. Then we had a top 20 and then another 4, then a top 20, then another 3. So it could be a top 20 now, and then we're going to go 6 tournaments till another non-top 20. So we'll see what happens over there. But I'm a loser till I win the millie. Hit me up in the Model Maniac Discord, the link in the description below. I'll get you in there once you're in the lobby, or just hit me up on X at the Model Maniac. I'll get you into that Discord. So, sleazy sloth saying, Colin Morikawa has lost him the most money with the bets. That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Cam, yeah, we can look. Let's take a look. Yeah, we can go down this list here. Hideki lost you significantly the most. Tom Kim, putrid across the board. Max Homer as well. Colin Morikawa, you have to, just in the last 12 months, he has to win twice to make up your outright money. Because you're only betting to win 100. If you're down 118, you got to bet again to get there. So that's a problem. Doug Gim, perennially overpriced for the results he gives you. Look at this. 13% top 20 rate. Yikes. Adam Svensson only finished inside the top 26% of the time. Brutal stuff. Mac Masna, only 4% of the time is he inside the top 20. Rasmus Højgaard finishes inside the top 20, 24% of the time, and still somehow is losing money across the board because of how he's priced. Matt Fitzpatrick, Matt Wallace, also losing you money in the top 20 market despite a good, decent top 25 rate. Colin Morikawa finishes inside the top 20 basically every other time, but has lost you $332. He's got to cash 4 consecutive top 20s to make up your money there. I wouldn't even call him inconsistent. He's just consistently bad right now. Then he flashes. Like, inconsistent would mean that you have to have a couple good rounds every now and then. He's not even doing that. It's not good from Hideki. But anyway, we're not here to rip Hideki a new one. We're here to chat about some DK pricing here. I will be getting off in a couple minutes, 8 or so minutes, to get ready for Tapping Birdie with Brian Kirshner on Inside Sports Network. Let's just run down the board here. I don't know if anyone else. I saw Deep Dive Hitsuni. Okay. Let's do it. Rio. Satsune. Upside ranking is 28th in the field. DK pricing is 46th. So the safety matches up with the DK rank, but the upside gives us some value. He's been profitable across the top 10, top 20, top 5 markets. Geez, do we have to bet this dude? What's he done lately? 6th at the Charles Schwab. That's pretty much it. He kind of, once we left Texas, it seemed like he loves Texas golf. So I think he played quite nicely at, we can just do it on this one, yeah. Rio Hitsuni. We just do top 10 bets have been very, very good for him. Let's just do top 20s to see if that shows up. So Mexico Open, top 20. Valspar in Florida, top 20. Valero, Texas, top 20. RBC Heritage, top 20. Charles Schwab, top 20. It's been playing solid. Top 5s, 2 there. Valero and the Valspar. It's been a while since. Checks a lot of boxes. What has his track record been like from a ball striking standpoint? In 2025, he's been super good around the green. The ball striking's kind of come and gone. He comes and goes with the ball striking. The putter is fine, but the around the green prowess being his main, area, it's not what you're looking for at a course like this. The more you're chipping, the less you're putting for birdie. You know what I'm saying? So I think, despite ranking well, I think he's a solid option. I keep wanting to go to Twitter. I need to just get that out of there. 8% at $7,200. It's a decent amount of ownership. Makes a lot of sense. I think if we are looking for an option outside of him, Lee Hodges checks. He's going to be 2% less than him. If we're looking for a better play, Eric van Rooyen's got a bit more upside than Rio Hitsuni, but also 6%. That checks out for the ownership. Anton Rosner looks like a solid option at 4% ownership. Max McGreevy at 3% ownership is a nice number. And then obviously Matt McCarty. He's 7th in upside for me in a big way here. I'll be looking at McCarty a lot. Going to be probably a quarter of my lineups. I'll be using him as a cheap anchor. I mentioned Stephen Fisk is my favorite option in the 6K range on the Fantasy Golf Degenerate show. He does a lot. He checks a lot of boxes. Now, we're checking all those boxes for fiscal planning, as always. Easy scoring conditions. He didn't even check that box in his 21st. So that would be a 4th box that would have been checked. And we've hidden a lot of stuff here. So we're looking at Fisk from a off the tee perspective. Great. On approach, great. And do we have any Rocket Mortgage stuff? We don't. So those are his boxes. Off the tee, weighted approach play, and I wonder if the easy scoring must have got him in there. I don't know what else he would have done. Course history, not going to check that box. Model ranking, not going to check that box. So I wonder if the easy scoring conditions got him in there for a 3rd one. Probably did. Either way, still a great option. Joel Damon at a course like this, interesting stuff. What has he been up to? He's accurate, good on these kind of courses. He's got a top 25, a top 21, and 2 missed cuts either side of that. His best finish in the last 10 PGA Tour events on the schedule has been a miscut. Played 3 times and missed the cut every single time. Not good. He seems to have lost his game. So can't say I'm happy about that about Joel Damon. Upside rank gives you a bit of hope, but man, he's $6,800 if you're in the mood. And banking on a top 25, like we've seen here in the past, sure. But what has he actually done? I don't know if Damon this year is gaining strokes somehow. RBC miss. We got those 2 missed cuts after the T2 at the Corrales. Just completely took the wind out of his sails, looks like. Was playing okay to start the year, and then just, he's a mopey bitch at times. Love him, but he can be a mopey bitch. So not Moby Dick, mopey bitch is what Joel Damon can be, and we are now seeing that in the last 3 starts since the Corrales. It wasn't good. So I'm out on Joel. Billy Joel, I'd rather play him instead. Each week I always think Norlander doesn't look like a bad option. Every week it usually goes quite poorly. Well, Norlander's likely just going to give you a ton of ball striking upside, right? And then let you down on the greens. Unless you're on past Palom greens, that's where you want to be going. Safety rank is better than the DK price by almost 20 shots. Look at this approach play, but look at the putting, look at the around the green play. It's pretty bad. And off the tee as well. Using a lot of strokes in that department. Not the greatest on easy scoring conditions either. Makes a lot of sense. Great iron player. Look, it's just green. Once we get to the approach play metrics here, very, very good. Very bad on bank cross putting. Very, very bad on bank cross putting. So it's got progressively worse as well over the years at this venue, with his best finish lately being not even a top 40. So you are spot on, my friend, John C. I think you're right there. I'll just give you a quick rapid fire of the guys I'm kind of in the mood for as we go down the DFS slate here. Locking in Ben Griffin. Going to be in 50+% of my lineups. Easily. Probably 75% of it. I'm just going to town on this man. We're getting good value here. I think he's going to be obviously $1,000 cheaper than Colin, and I think he'll beat Colin this week. Ben Griffin, my guy. I am in kind of maybe looking at Patrick Cantley as well if I need to fill in another one, but not a lot. I'm going to match the field at like 20%. Out on Cameron Young, out on Harry Hall, out on Hideki. So pretty much out on the majority of these dudes. Siwoo Kim just withdrew from last week's tournament. Also, not nearly finding himself inside the top 5, good enough to be a $9,000 golfer this week. Give me Max Griesemann. I'll be playing him. So that's cool. Can we do some green? Does that show up on here? Yeah, it doesn't do too bad. Cam Colt will be out in full force, my brother. We got to be remaining vigilant. Retail Ripper saying we're in on Griffin. I love it. Did I discuss Knapp? No, we'll get to him here as we go down the board. Luke Clanton, I'm down. I'll play some Luke Clanton. I think he's got immense upside. Love the easy scoring conditions for Clanton. Take a look. He checks 3 boxes. Easy scoring conditions. Hello. Off the tee on long golf courses. Hello. That's good to see. And we're getting a top top 10 from him over here. That's good to see as well. And what else are we looking at from Luke Clanton? He's also top 5 in the model. So should have some sort of exposure to him this week. But the markets are like so brutal for Clanton. Luke Clanton's like top 10 bet is plus 350. All right, we're doing it. Luke Clanton, top 10 plus 350. We're on. Officially, Luke Clanton, top 10 plus 350. Let's go. I'm in on him. Obviously not Tony Finau. We can just get rid of that row over there. Keith Mitchell, I'm down. Give me Keith Mitchell at $8,800, 12%. I'm cool with that. I think that's something. Oh, are we deleting people now? I need to add green to the names here so we know. Okay, we down. Skip me on Ricky Fowler. Look at this upside. 50th in the field, no. Wyndham Clark, Kenny's guy, 15% owned at $8,600. We'll see. Monitoring the situation. I'm out on Minwoo Lee in general. I'm out on Matthew Fitzpatrick despite the model liking him for safety. That's basically all you're going to be getting, from Fitzy. Lots of top 40s, 63% of them. Rasmus seems like he's finding himself. He's decent on the comp courses. What's he doing lately? Nothing really. So we leave him alone. Akshay also been struggling lately to Memorial. Charles Schwab did nicely, but since then has been pretty poor. 14% ownership. It's not the worst. Maybe we play him a bit. Davis Thompson at this ownership is tough. It's tough to get to that, especially given his lack of safety. I think upside's fine. Gotterup is someone I'm kind of interested in. He's been doing some stuff. Mini Maniac's a fan of him back here. Charles Schwab, 28th, US Open, 23rd. Starting to find his groove. So I'm down for that at this kind of ownership. We could potentially see some good stuff. Alex Smalley, yeah. Torbjorn Olesen, yeah. Ryan Gerard, I'm down on. Like him a lot. Alex Noren, I'm bullish on. Steven Yeager at this kind of ownership, given his lack of up, no. Michael Kim, also been playing okay lately. Benny On has shown up twice now at RBC Canadian and the Travelers. I'm in. What do I have him ranked in the model versus the rest of DraftKings? Slightly devalued over there. It is what it is. I'm out on Tom Kim, out on Kurt Kitayama. Chris Kirk has got some decent course history here. Solid stuff, but nothing better than a top 20, I believe. A top 10, 12th back in 2021. Nothing much better than that, although having very good course history, safe at $7,500. Someone asked about Emiliano Grillo at 11% ownership. We're getting some good play from Emiliano Grillo. It's been 3 years since he's played here. Didn't quite do the greatest job at this golf course. What does he do on easy conditions? He's bad on those. He's better on the hellish stuff. So how are these courses that he played on? US Open, hellish conditions. RBC Canadian wasn't super low scoring out there. And the Charles Schwab also not going to be the lowest scoring. So those are like hard to hellish conditions, I would say. CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, missed the cut because you got to go a million under par at that golf course. So let's take a look actually quickly at Grillo on the easy scoring stuff. Round by round, Emiliano Grillo. Let's click easy at the top here. And it still hasn't been the greatest either. We got the RBC Canadian final round. Did nicely on the ball striking front. Outside of that, he's been struggling to get it together in these easy rounds. Some solid stuff there. If we go to hard and hellish, we're just seeing a ton of green here. That's his jam. So I think we can potentially leave him alone on a course like this. Although, at 11%, it's a solid option to fade because I think the easy scoring conditions are definitely going to be what you're looking for from Emiliano. Matt Wallace is sneaky, you say, 6%. What's he been up to lately? Some solid finishes here a while ago, and he's been playing some solid golf too. All right, I will take your recommendation there, sir. We're going with Matt Wallace. Jesper Svensson played nicely at the RBC Canadian. I'm in. Like him as a cheap option down here. Andrew Putnam. What's he done? Missed 2 cuts at this venue in the past. What's his easy scoring conditions? Nah, not the greatest. Ricky Castillo. Give me him. Easy scoring. Let's go, baby. 2% ownership. Antoine Rosner. Like him. Max McGreevy. Like him. Matt McCarty. Love him. Go. Fiscal policy. We're going with him too. Matt Kuchar does not do well on the easy scoring conditions. The harder it gets, the better. Not his jam. What has he done at this golf course in the past? 25th year last time. And 25th of the Memorial, where you got to scramble your face off. That's what Matt Kuchar does. He's a short game specialist. But the putter seems to have left him. All right, people. Let's round out a couple here. Adam Hadwin's had some good course history here and good comp course history. 5% ownership if in the mood. I don't mind him. Carl Phillips, also someone I don't mind. Alejandro Tosti is someone we will be also looking at. Screw it. We're also going with Tosti at 170 to 1 to win this tournament, by the way. So you have to listen to the very end of the show in order to get the Alejandro Tosti bet, which I will be adding to the Model Maniac Patreon as we go. Nate Lashley, never a terrible option to kind of go with so down on the board here. He's got great course history and on the comp courses checks out as well. $6,500. Outside of that, no one else to really write home about. Paul Waring is someone that's going to be very, very sneaky, in my opinion. 36th at the RBC Canadian. Starting to find his groove on the PGA Tour. Has not played well or much. I don't know. Where is this dude? What's he doing? He's got his tour card, but not doing. That's Cristobal. Waring, same situation. Yeah. So has anyone down here done something good? Will Gordon, Byron Nelson. Maybe this is a sneaky option at $6,500, $6,400 over there. Brand Snedeker has a top 5 here and a top 7 in his last 2 starts at the Memorial. Gained 1 million strokes putting. We'll see. All right. That's going to be it from me, friends. Go check out Play Profit X. Use code FG Degenerates over there. If you're in the mood to use all these tools, all the stuff that I've showed you here, use code ROCK50 to get yourself 50% off your first month or year. So if you want this until next year this time, go ahead. You get 50% off. That's a decent chunk. A change over there. I appreciate every single one of you. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. If you're sipping on something fancy, enjoy that. We're getting off the mat this week. We are getting off the mat. We've got our guys. Recapping them real quick as we get the hell out of here. Ben Griffin to win. Davis Thompson, Max Griesemann, Matt McCarty, Aldrich Potgieter, John Puck. And we're going to go with Alejandro Tosti as well. 170 to 1 or 150 to 1. Whatever that is out there. Till then, I will see you in Tapping Birdie in a little bit. In 35 minutes, we're going to have Spencer and Joel doing the draft cast, King of the Draft on Mayo. Check them out. Don't watch me. Check them instead. Just kidding. Do whatever you want. And I will see you for Fantasy Golf Degenerates on Monday, and then on the show again for the John Deere Classic. I'll have some fun guests on. I'm thinking I might get Ryan Noonan potentially to do that. We will see. If not, we'll find someone else. It's a call to arms for the Noonan truthers out there. He's a good friend of mine too. Anyway, I appreciate every single one of you. Let's hit some bets. Let's freaking go off the mat. If not, next week's the John Deere Classic. It's almost a guaranteed winner there for the 3-peat. Just kidding. Not going to happen. We'll see what happens. Till next time. Catch you guys later. Peace.